Hello and welcome to another video. And in this one, we're going to be looking at story templates. So what is a story template? Well, effectively what it is a template which allows you to create stories from tables which the template will randomly roll on. So you can use this for all sorts of things like descriptions of a town or an NPC, a geographical location, a building, and plenty more things as well. So in this video and probably in one or maybe even two more, we'll cover as much as we can about story templates and how you can use them in your campaign to generate stuff. So in order to access story templates, we click on the story here and then we go up to the little templates button and we can open up the story templates, and this will show you the list of templates which are already in your campaign, if any. I've got a few here which we'll come to in a minute, but if we wanted to create a new story template, then we do the usual thing of just adding an item and then we've got a new template that we can then start entering text into. I'm not going to do that because otherwise we'll spend the whole video of me just adding stuff into a template. So what we're going to start with is this very simple template here, which I've already set up. So this is the general setup for any template. The first thing we need to do is we need to determine what tables we need to roll or to make the template work. So you can see here that in the setup section of the template, we've got first part, and we've enclosed this in the square brackets, and then we've got second part also enclosed in square brackets. Now, what these refer to are these two tables here. We've got a first part and a second part. And what this is telling the template to do is to make a roll on a table called first part. So whatever is in these square brackets is going to be a table name. It's going to be the exact name, otherwise it's not going to find it. And it basically is just saying roll on this table here and then store the result of that roll in this thing called first part. And then it does exactly the same for the second table which we're rolling on. So once we've got that information stored, or once the template stores that information in those variables, we can then use that to output a sentence or output text, which includes the random rolls that we made in these two tables. And we do that by enclosing the name of the table in these angled brackets. So what we're doing here is we're saying to the store is called find what you rolled on this table here and then add it into the sentence and then do the same thing for this second part as well. So if we just generate this table, then what you can see is that we've set up the template. So it's rolled on the first part table here and it's rolled a 1 and it's come up with Bob or Bob's, and we've put that into first part, and so first part is now Bob's. And then in the second part, it's rolled on this table here. It's got a 4. It's come up with gear, so it's put the gear into this second part. And then when we come to our output, we can recall this, the first part and second part, and we've got a sentence, this store is called Bob's Gear. So that's the principle that underpins everything that's about story templates, is that we need to have tables. We roll on those tables, we get a result, we put the result somewhere, and then we can recall those results and put them into a sentence. And you notice also that the template will take formatted text. So we've got our titles here and that kind of thing. So it'll take all the formatted text a normal story entry would take, and that will follow through into the created story once you have created it, once you've done the generate. And the story goes into it, it becomes a part of your campaign. So here's our story entry here, the village store one. So that's been added to your campaign, and you can recall it later, just like you would if we close this up. You can get it back up again, and you can, do whatever you want with it. You can link that to another story and so on and so forth. You can do everything that you can do with a story entry with these generated ones. Okay, so that's pretty simple. Let's get on to something a bit more ambitious. Let's have a look at the Village Store 2. So what we've done here is we've basically added a whole bunch more tables to our campaign, and we are going to use these tables to create a comprehensive or a reasonably descriptive piece or a couple of pieces of text here, which we can then share with our players. So again, we're setting this up. We've got the building here, and we've got a table called building. I'm not going to go through all of these, but we've got a table called building. So this, as we saw in the first instance, this is going to roll on this table here, and it's going to put whatever result we get from this roll into this building here, and then it's going to do the same for all of these things: the sign, first and second name, the inside, and the proprietor. And then we're then going to call all this information or recall all this information in a sentence. So we've got on the corner sits a building, over which hangs a sign proclaiming it to be blah blah. So what this is going to do when we generate this is it's going to take all these signs, buildings, second part, first part, eyes, etc., etc., and we're going to insert it into these sentences. Now notice that we can recall these things any number of times. So we've got first part, second part in this sentence, and we've also got it in this sentence here. And you also notice that, as I said, we've got formatted text here. So we've already formatted these two sentences into a chat bubble so that when we generate our story, we can immediately then put that into chat so that our players can see what's going on. So if we generate this, and here's our results, it tells us all about the building, the sign, the first, second name, what the inside description is, the description of the proprietor, and then it just puts all that into a story which just reads like a normal story. That you can then just simply share with the players by adding it into chat or dragging it to the portrait or whatever you want to do with the chat entry. So we've sorted out the description of the village store here from the inside and the outside. We've got a description of the proprietor, but what about some stock for the shop? So this is where the final template comes in, and the first part of this template is exactly the same as the last one, but now we have added an inventory. So if we look at this one here under general gear, we've got a table called general gear. If we open that up, we've got a number of items in it. Incidentally, I'm using fairly simple small tables here, but obviously the tables can be as big as you want. And especially if you don't want duplicates of things coming up, then you want the tables to be reasonably sized so that duplicates are less rare, or more rare, I should say. In any case, what we're going to do here with this table is we're actually going to roll 4 times on the table, and it's telling us here 4x. So if we want a table to be rolled on more than once, if we just had general gear here with nothing in behind it, then it would just simply roll once on this table. But we can tell it, the template, to roll more than that. We can tell it to roll a dice expression like we have here in the weapons one. We've got 1d2 plus 1 times, and in the magic items we get 1d2 times, and this one we've got 4 times. So you can have a dice expression like this, 1d2 plus 1, or you can just roll it 1d2, or you can have just a set number of times. So if you want to roll more than once on a table, then you need to include immediately before the table name, your dice expression, and it must contain an X, which is basically the multiplication sign. So it's saying roll four times on this table, roll 1d2 times plus 1 or roll 1d2. And in the armor table, we're calling it twice, but we're just putting it on single rows. But we could equally have just done 2 times, and that would have come to the same result. And if we scroll a bit further down, we don't need to necessarily have a table that we want to add information into the template for. So in this case here, we've got the maximum gold pieces. So we've got a dice expression, and this is going to be the maximum number of gold pieces that the store has available. So we're going to be rolling a 3d6, multiplying it by 10, and then appending the gold pieces. And again, the dice expression that we've got here needs to be included in the square brackets so that the template knows that it needs to do something with whatever's inside the square brackets. And then we've got a similar one here for the maximum buy price. So we've got a base of 30, and we've got a die 3 times 10, and that's going to give us a percentage of what the maximum the proprietor of this establishment will buy stuff from the players with. And then we've got a sell price here as well, which is giving us a base of 90, and then we've got a D4 times 10, adding that together, and that's going to give us the percentage price above or below or whatever the player's handbook prices say for the items that the players might want to buy from this store. So if we generate this template, our first part is just the same. We've got obviously a different description because it's all random. And then we've got the items that the shop has for sale. Now you'll notice here that in our tables, these are all linked to the player's handbook. We looked on this here, the pouch and everything like that. All we did here was creating this table by dragging in items from the list in the player's handbook and just drop the links into the table here. And when the table result is rolled on the template, then it adds these links into the template so that when we click on this, we can see that we've got the item is there. So this means that we can very easily just drag this into the chat to share it with the players. We could drag and drop it onto a particular player's portrait to share it with just that player, or we could open up and create a new parcel, and we could drag the things into the parcel that they wanted to buy, and then usually share the parcel, add the parcel to the party sheet as we would normally do. Now, another thing that I forgot to mention here, if we have a look at the armor table that we created here, this table here has got the first 4 rows are just normal items which are just dragged in. But then if we roll a 5 or a 6 on this table, then it's actually rolling on another table called the special armor table. And if we have a look at the special armor table, we can see that here we've got a 1 in 5 chance of getting a special armor. And in actual fact, that all worked out. We actually did get the special armor, despite the fact that we've got a chance here that it wouldn't come up, and then a chance here that it doesn't come up. So you don't need to have the table can roll on other tables. So you can have linked tables, and the result will all follow through. So in this case, we managed to roll a 5 or a 6. We then rolled on the special armor table. That came up somewhere between 80 and 100. We got the inspelled leather armor, and that was added into the inventory. If we hadn't gotten an 80 to 100, we would have just gotten this message, nothing special for sale, would have appeared in there instead of the link to the inspelled leather armor. So tables can have a link to other tables, and the final result, whatever the final result on the final table is what will appear in your template. And if we look down here at our shop prices in gold, we can see that's all gone into it's worked it all out for us. So the proprietor's got 140 gold pieces available, which he can use to buy stuff from the players. He's only going to give the players 40% of the value if they want to sell stuff to him, and his sell price is 100%. So he's not charging any premium over the player's handbook prices. So that's how you would do a template like this. These are fairly simple examples. And I'm going to finish the video at this point, and then in the next one we'll start having a look at more complex examples using multi-column tables rather than single column tables. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers for now.